everyone, and welcome back to Limelight. If you haven't heard, we've now updated to 1.21.5, the Spring to Life update. But I'm actually here today because Goofy told me there's a big order waiting for me at VoliGrind, so let's go check that out. So it should be in here. I don't think I've actually shown this off, but the way this works is you're meant to come in here, you put out an order form, and then I'll meet to discuss the terms of the contract. So normally I just go and complete the order and then we chat about how much they should owe me later. Okay, Goofy Goob. 40 Netherite Ingots. Excuse me, Goofy? 40 Netherite Ingots? Oh my. Okay, well that is a big order. He was right. Oh. How am I going to... Well, I clearly need to gather a bunch of netherite and no one's selling it, so I can't just buy it and resell it. I think it's time to do a little bit of a test. That's right, it's time for some science. So we're going to do a test to see which mining method is the best for ancient debris. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time because there's a lot of different methods and people have some strong preferences. Personally, I've just always gone for strip mining because it's the easiest, but I don't know if it's actually the best. If I bring up the little table here, we'll see the four methods I'm testing are strip mining, TNT mining, bed explosions, and using a tunnel bore. I'm going to be scoring each of these methods using the output, which is how much ancient debris I find in an hour, the effort, which is how much work it is to get the ancient debris, the cost, which is how much the materials cost to do this mining method, and then style, which is basically just a subjective how cool I think it is. And then I'll give it an overall ranking between the four methods. As we go, I'll be filling out this table, so let me know in the comments which one you think is going to win now. I'm here in the nether, and I'm going to try out the first method. So, this one, very simple. I've got a couple of netherite pickaxes here. I'm just going to go in a straight line, see how much I can get. Let's see how we go. I'll set a timer for 1 hour. Let me know what I find. Here we go. There we have it. Just as I hit this next little lava pool, the 1 hour timer ran out, and this is what I've got. I ended up with 28 ancient debris, so that's nearly 1 every 2 minutes. So not bad. So let's put it on the scoreboard. For output, we got 28 in 1 hour. It's sort of mid-low effort because you do have to be mining manually the whole time, but it doesn't require much setup. You just get your pickaxe and go. So I think I'll give that a 3 out of 10. Cost, super cheap. All you need is your pickaxe, 1 out of 10. And style, it's easily the most boring out of all the methods I'm testing. So I guess I'll give it a 1 out of 10 for this as well. For the overall, I'm going to be doing that as a ranked comparison between the four methods. So we'll decide that at the end. Next up, let's test out TNT mining. I had to reach out to the Limes to see if anyone had a gunpowder farm to help out. Fortunately, Levi got back to me. So I've arrived here at Levi and Omni's base to collect the gunpowder, and Levi said he was AFK and the barrel was in front of him. I wasn't expecting a little Levi vendor here. 14 diamonds. I'm happy with 14 diamonds. Otherwise, I would have to spend hours and hours trying to get some myself. Thanks, Levi. I'm back with all this gunpowder, and I've got all the sand, so now I need to craft it all up and see how much TNT I can get. Well, that was far less than I expected. I mean, I should have expected it really, since it is 5 gunpowder for 1, but there you go, you got 5.5 stacks. I really hope that is going to be enough, but I guess we will find out. My strategy for TNT mining is going to be to just dig a shaft, and then I'll be placing TNT every 2 to 3 blocks, and then once I've got a whole chain of it, I'll shoot my flame bow, set them all off, and see what ancient debris I get. See how we go. Okay, so I'm back at my base after clearing through all of that TNT. Funnily enough, I think 5.5 stacks I had lasted maybe 2 minutes short of the full hour, so I'll calculate all the numbers, and if they're off a bit I might have to extrapolate an extra ancient debris. I got 52 from that hour slot, so that's really good. I'll add that to the stash, and now I'm at 1.25 stacks of ancient debris. To complete Goofy's order I need 160, so I'm getting pretty close. I'm halfway now, exactly halfway actually. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's check out the board. Like I said, we got 52 ancient debris in 1 hour. However, we did run out short, so I had to extrapolate the extra 2 minutes that we missed, and that brings us up to 54 ancient debris per hour. This is nearly double what we got from strip mining, so clearly way better. However, it does require a fair bit more effort, because not only do you mine out the strip as you do in strip mining, but you then have to place the TNT, set it off, and then collect the ancient debris at the end. So I think I'll give that a 5 out of 10. The cost is the category that's really going to hold it back, because I think to get that much gunpowder, you either need to build yourself a gunpowder farm, or have someone like Levi who you can just buy the gunpowder off. Because of that, I'm going to give TNT mining an 8 out of 10 for cost. And finally, for style, let's face it, TNT mining, way cooler than strip mining, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And so with that done, let's move on to bed explosions. The bed explosion method obviously uses beds, so I had to go buy a bunch of wool from Jolly's wool shop. So I've got all the materials I need to make a whole lot of beds and hopefully get a whole lot of ancient debris. Like the TNT method, you start with a strip mine, but then you make some little offshoots. You dig as far as you can into the wall, place down a bed, and then you right click to make it explode. You might take a little bit of damage and there will be fire everywhere, but I suppose that's maybe part of the fun. Anyway, let's see how much we can get. After all that work, a full hour of using beds in the mines, ended up with 39. It's not a bad result. Interestingly, it's not that much higher than just strip mining. It's way more work. I don't know, it doesn't look great, the bed technique, but I guess we'll see what the scoreboard says. And the scoreboard says 39 ancient debris per hour puts bed explosions between strip mining and TNT mining. Pretty close to right in the middle actually. As far as effort goes, I found that having to carry all the materials for the beds, since they don't stack, and craft them as I need them, was a huge pain, and I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10 for effort. In terms of cost, I'd put the bed mining at a similar level to TNT mining. Where TNT has gunpowder and sand, the beds have wood and wool, which I would argue is slightly more annoying, so I'm going to give it a score of 9 out of 10 for cost, remembering that a higher score here is worse. And finally, for style, I would again say that bed mining is pretty similar to TNT mining, but in this case I think it's slightly cooler because you're using the special property of beds exploding in the nether. So for that I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for style. So that's it for bed explosions, and now we're on to my favourite of all the tests, the tunnel bore. And oh boy, here it is. Oh, I love tunnel bores, they're so fun. So this particular one was not actually my own design, it was designed by Borcon, so I'll have a link to the video where he explains how to make it in the description. But it's really quite simple, it doesn't have that many parts, it'll take a little bit of time to get the parts together, but you just build it as he says, and all you have to do is right click this note block here and off you go. So after that session, it was really quite underwhelming. I only got 24 ancient debris from a whole hour of using that tunnel bore. So yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. But I guess let's put in the final numbers and figure out which one's best. Disappointingly, the tunnel bore only had 24 ancient debris in an hour, which is easily the worst on the board. For effort, I'm going to give it a high score here of 8 out of 10, and that's because it does take quite a bit of work to build the machine, and every time you have to move it, because you run into a big lava lake or something, it takes quite a bit of time. However, once the machine's set up, it's very easy to use, so that's what stops it from going any higher than 8. For cost, I've given it a very low score here of 3 out of 10. Even though the machine has some expensive parts in it, once it's set up you don't use any resources, so you can keep using this machine forever if you want to. But where the tunnel bore really does well is in style, because honestly, what is cooler than a little flying machine that goes and digs out netherite for you? Easy 10 out of 10. But now, the most important part of this whole test is trying to find out which one is the best of these 4 methods. And really, I think it just comes down to which part of the game you're into. For example, if you're early game, then strip mining would be ideal because it's super easy, requires no resources, and all you need is access to the nether. If you're later on, maybe mid game, then I think the best options are either TNT mining or beds, except I don't know why you'd ever want to use beds, because if you can make a wool farm, then you could just make a gunpowder farm instead and get way more ancient debris like I found here. And finally, if you're in the end game, then maybe you should be using the tunnel bore. It's way more interesting than the other methods, plus you can build huge constructs that would allow you to chain an almost endless amount of these together to probably produce more ancient debris than any of the other methods combined. So instead of a ranking, this is what I'm going to give for the final score. Strip mining, early game. TNT mining, mid game. Beds, no. Just don't use beds. Tunnel bore, late game. I know you fans of bed mining are not going to be happy with that, but not my fault, you're wrong. Leave a comment if you disagree. And with all that done, I've got myself a bit over 2 stacks of ancient debris, which is pretty crazy. I need a little bit more to be able to finish off Goofy's order, so I guess I'm going to get back to work with that. I think I'll be using the TNT method from here on. Next time, I'm going to be finishing off Goofy's order, and I'm trying to figure out what he needs these 40 Netherite Ingots for, because that's a lot. So I'll catch you next time, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!
Hold on, I gotta do the merchandising. How do the Instagram influencers say? What do they do? I'm here at VoliGrind today for a VoliGrind grinder. No,
VoliGrind.
Another thing. Hold on. Was a order. That is. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this Instagram. I think that's how they say. And and we are here for a grind with Vola. Grind, and we are placing our order. And this is a nice place to be at. So if you need anything from VoliGrind, if you need anything that needs grinding, VoliGrind can grind you.
You betcha.
That's going on the video.
Okay, get out of my shop.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, bye.
Thanks, Goob.